This year I turned 53 years old, and in this video I'm going to explain that although getting older can be a little bit depressing, it's not entirely a bad thing for your golf. So let's start off with the negatives of getting older as a golfer. Well, there's quite a few of them, to be fair, but you mustn't let yourself get down about them, because at the end of the day there's nothing you can do about the march of Father Time, so you've just got to embrace it, okay? So the first thing is a lack of distance, or losing distance. So over the last 3 years since I turned 50, I've noticed that my distances have been coming down incrementally a little bit each year. I actually went to the gym a lot this winter to try and sort of stave that off a little bit, and I did have a little bit of success with that. But inevitably, as you get older, you're going to lose distance. You're also going to lose some clubhead speed, which is obviously a reason why you are losing distance. Also, flexibility. I'm losing a lot of flexibility now as I get older. I should do a lot more stretching, but I just never seem to get time to do it, or I don't feel like doing it, whatever the reason might be. But that means that the swing is getting a lot shorter. You know, I don't usually get quite to parallel now, whereas when I was younger and very flexible, I used to definitely get to parallel, if not a little bit past parallel. So yeah, flexibility again, doing stretching, doing yoga, doing Pilates, these are all things that would really help with that. But unfortunately, things that I just don't seem to have time to do. The other thing I've noticed is aches and pains. The next day that I wake up after playing a round of golf and I get out of bed in the morning, oh my God, like everything seems to hurt, everything seems to ache. So playing golf on consecutive days is something that's become a lot harder. So what I tend to do now is always have at least one day off between playing full rounds of golf. And lastly, one of the biggest drawbacks of being a senior golfer and having played this game for so long is scar tissue. It's something that we all know about. You know, when we're younger and we've got those chip shots over tight lies, over bunkers, you know, we never even used to think about it back then. Whereas now it's just so hard to get there and try and have the same kind of attitude, because, you know, we've played a lot of those shots. We've had problems with those shots at times during our long time of playing golf. So that is where you've got to really zone in on your golf psychology, something that I obviously do a lot of videos about on my channel, to try and make sure that that scar tissue doesn't have a massive detrimental effect on your golf right now. So that's all the negatives out the way. Let's get on to the positives, because there are some positives about getting older as a golfer. And one of the things is that as a positive, I actually listed as a negative before, and that is losing a bit of distance and clubhead speed and a little bit of flexibility, because I'm actually now a lot more consistent hitter of the golf ball than I was when I was younger. Because when I was younger, with all that flexibility, with all of that clubhead speed, when it went wrong, it went way wrong. Whereas now, because my clubhead speed and my swing is a lot shorter due to the lack of flexibility, is that when it goes wrong, it doesn't go as wrong. It doesn't go off the planet as much as it did when I was younger. So actually now, you know, having that more kind of controlled, shorter swing with slightly lower clubhead speed means that actually I've become a lot more consistent as a golfer as I've been over 50 years old. Another massive advantage of being a senior golfer is course management. Because of all of that experience that we've gained over all of those rounds of golf that we've played, we think so much better on the golf course. So the shot here, I'm completely stymied behind the tree. I can't even see the flag. I've got a terrible lie. And I absolutely guarantee you that young Craig will be trying to hit some kind of hero shot to try and get this near to the pin. And invariably, I might pull that shot off once, maybe every 10 times at the very most, but most times it would go wrong and it would end up costing me a shot. Whereas now I realise that there is no real benefit in taking that shot on, and let's just knock it back out to just short of the front edge of the green and then see whether we can get up and down from there. We save shots with good course management, and young Craig, used to cost himself shots with poor course management. Another thing that I feel I do a lot better as an over 50s golfer is concentrate on the parts of my game that I really need to improve. When I was younger, I used to just go and play golf, just play golf, when really I would have been better off with some of that time actually working on the parts of my game that I really needed to improve. Again, it's something through experience that I feel I do better now while I'm over 50 than I did when I was in my 20s. And lastly, and probably not surprisingly to all of my subscribers, is golf psychology. I wish so much that I had realised that by reading some of the great golf psychology books that were around then, that it would have had a massive impact on young Craig in his 20s. A lot of the mistakes that I was making back then was through thinking in the wrong way. But I was young, I was stubborn, I thought I knew best, and I didn't think that any of that was going to help. Whereas now, in my 50s, and as you know, I am very, very big on my golf psychology. That is why I feature it on the channel so much, that it is something that I do night and day better now in my 50s than I did when I was in my younger days. So as one of the older golf creators on YouTube, in this video I wanted to explain that yes, there are detrimental effects to turning 50 and getting older as a golfer, but that doesn't mean that your golf is going to immediately go into some kind of decline. There are some advantages to being a more experienced senior golfer, to which I've tried to highlight in this video. When I was younger, in my between, sort of 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, when I was playing golf pretty much non-stop, my handicap hovered somewhere between, scratch and 2 handicap. Whereas now, here I am, when I turned 50, I was plus 0.4, and here I am now at 53, 3 years later, with a handicap of 0.8. Now, I'm managing to achieve that handicap in a totally different way to how I did it when I was in my early 20s, but I feel that actually I'm a lot better, more consistent golfer now than I was back then. The only thing that I wish I could probably take from young Craig is that absolutely fearless head on my shoulders, because if I could put that on my shoulders with my golf psychology knowledge now, I know that that would have made a massive difference to young Craig. But you live and learn, and that's not going to be possible. So yes, there are some negatives to getting older with playing golf, but there's also some major positives that you can embrace to make sure that you keep playing this game at the level you want to in your older years. So that's it for today's video. Just a little reminder that you now can become a member of the Scratch at 50 channel and get extra golf psychology advice videos, as well as tons of other benefits, and it costs less than a cup of coffee at Starbucks every single month. You'll be supporting the channel, you'll be helping me to try and do more with the channel in the future. There's plenty of members enjoying that content right now. So if you are interested, click the link in the corner, and I'll see you in the next video.